The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning here at 5:01 a.m. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher. And we begin this morning with some breaking news for anyone getting ready to head out on the roads. Listen up. The northbound lanes of Highway 99 are closed near Highway 166 after several semi-trucks were involved in a crash. You're taking a live look at the scene right now. Details are still limited, but CHP says at least 2 semi-trucks and a car were involved. Northbound traffic on the 99 is being diverted onto the 166. No word yet on when this traffic may be cleared, but CHP says this will be a long-term closure.
5:02 is our time now. Governor Gavin Newsom plans to announce the next phase of California's COVID-19 response later today. The governor's office says he will announce a comprehensive plan that emphasizes flexibility, awareness, and readiness as our state transitions from reacting to a pandemic to living with COVID-19. The plan is said to focus on keeping schools and businesses open and safe. We learned yesterday that students and staff will have to wear a mask in schools until at least February 28th. That's when California Health and Human Services Secretary Dr. Mark Ghaly is expected to announce a date for the school mask mandate to be lifted.
Here in Kern County, the mask debate for school children in Bakersfield continues. Many Bakersfield parents are upset at football fans for refusing to wear masks at games while expecting children to wear theirs in school. 17's Marco Torres reports.
The Rosedale Union School District called an emergency meeting to address parent concern over the child mask mandate. Parents voiced their frustration towards football fans.
Are we in a state of emergency? If so, why did California host the Super Bowl, allowing people from all over the country to attend, maskless, as I'm sure you have seen by now, then voting to continue to enforce masks on our children while adults celebrated and partied just 2 hours away?
The SoFi Stadium did have a mask mandate and vaccination requirement for all attendees. Now, parents also pointed blame towards celebrities, politicians, and Jesse Aguilar, a California Teacher Association board member and Kern High School district teacher.
Many of them were celebrities, local and state politicians, as well as a teacher association representative, Jesse Aguilera, I believe it was, at a playoff game.
Aguilar posted a photo of himself at a football game with his mask off. 17 News spoke with Aguilar, who says the photo was not taken at the Super Bowl, but instead at the national championship in the same stadium 2 weeks before the big game.
I was wearing my mask. I took it off to take a selfie. That's probably on me. It was not unsafe. There was nobody in front of me. This was after the game. The game had ended. Politically, I probably shouldn't have done it. But then, I'm a teacher. I'm not a politician.
Marco Torres reporting. Aguilar says he's received hate mail, threats, and lewd messages since he says he became a target for the anti-mask group. Meantime, public health officials reported 738 new cases yesterday of coronavirus. 10 new deaths were also reported, bringing our death toll to 2,087 lives lost. State data shows 182 people hospitalized currently with the virus and 40 in the ICU.
Now to a developing story, the search for a missing hiker in the Mount Pinos area. The family of 73-year-old Gab Song says he went hiking on Tuesday and never returned home. They say Song is an experienced hiker, but wasn't prepared for the snowy weather. Kern and Ventura County search and rescue teams are involved in the effort to find him. Officials say the search was suspended overnight and will resume later this morning. The sheriff's office is also searching for a 15-year-old missing girl. This is a photograph of Danielle Basaldia. Deputies say she was last seen on Monday at the Dutch Bros near the corner of California and Oak. Monday was also the last time Danielle had spoken with her family. KCSO says she has the word blessed tattooed on her right shoulder. If you know where she is or know anything about where she could be, call the sheriff's office at 861-3110. If you'd like to remain anonymous, you can also call the secret witness hotline at 322-4040.
And now to your 17 homicide tracker. A Wasco man is dead and a gunman on the run after a shooting early yesterday morning in Wasco. The sheriff's office says it happened just before 2 a.m. on Sharon Court near Bex Street. The victim's been identified as the coroner's office as 31-year-old Christopher Aaron Regalado of Wasco. Homicide detectives are investigating the incident and say there's no suspect information available as of now. By our count, this is the 10th homicide in Kern County this year.
In your 17 Crime Watch this morning, a Bakersfield man who tried to stop a pair of mailbox thieves says he was forced to fire his gun after coming under attack. The incident happened around 3 o'clock yesterday morning on Olive Street in North Bakersfield. Eddie Garcia says he took his dog outside, and that's when he spotted two men trying to steal from community mailboxes. Garcia said when he intervened, one of the men pepper sprayed him. Garcia says he used his own pepper spray in return. Police say that's when the second thief charged at Garcia with a hunting knife, prompting Garcia to reach for his gun.
I was able to retrieve the weapon and at very close proximity rack around into it and just get off 2 rounds. But I also believe that divine intervention was the true factor in nobody being seriously hurt.
Garcia says the burglars scattered after the gunfire and he called 911. Police say there's no evidence anyone was shot. One of the suspects is described as 6'2" and was wearing a blue hoodie. There's no description of the second suspect.
Your time now is 5:08, and from our follow-up file this morning, a guitar once owned by country music legend Buck Owens was stolen from an Oildale post office late last year. But we're happy to report that guitar has been recovered. According to a warrant filed by the Sheriff's Office investigators, the guitar was found at Greenlawn Cemetery January 8th, but doesn't specify at which Greenlawn location. There are 2 in Bakersfield. Previously, officials said a piece of the guitar was found December 31st in an abandoned building on O Street near Golden State Avenue. No one has been charged for the theft so far.
Also from our follow-up file, a happy ending to a dog napping in Buttonwillow. On January 22nd, a man was walking his 2 dogs, seen here, when he was robbed at gunpoint of his beloved animals. KCSO served a search warrant at a home in Shafter yesterday where they found the pups. The dogs were in good condition, and the SPCA is working on getting them back to their owner, who lives out of town. The dog nappers, however, have not been found.
Despite Russia's assurances that its troops are pulling out from Ukraine's border, the U.S. says there's no proof Putin is telling the truth there. Still, the Biden administration says it's doing everything it can to end the tension with a diplomatic solution.
NBC News' Bree Jackson is on Capitol Hill this morning with more.
Good morning, Maddie, Alex. U.S. officials remind us that actions speak louder than words. The Biden administration says Russia is actually adding thousands of troops to Ukraine's borders, despite claims of a pullback. Mixed messages from Russia. The Russian Defense Ministry releasing video claiming to show its forces pulling back from Ukraine's borders. Both U.S. and NATO allies now say that's false.
So far, we have not seen any sign of withdrawal or de-escalation.
Despite what they are saying, they are not withdrawing troops. They are in fact adding troops to the border.
The Biden administration says Russia added as many as 7,000 troops to the estimated 150,000 already stationed near Ukraine's borders, further raising fears of an invasion.
We are now in the window where it could start at any time, and our concern has only increased in recent days.
This as another wave of U.S. troops arrive in Poland. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin is also in Europe this week, meeting with allies. An all-out push for diplomacy happening overseas and here at home.
Certainly plenty of topics for discussion with Russia that could help avoid a crisis that would be absolutely devastating for Russia.
The U.S. must keep sending these strong messages verbally and with concrete actions.
The message in Ukraine Wednesday: unity. People there expressing optimism that Russia won't attack while remaining cautious amid warnings from the U.S.
It makes people nervous, but it's helpful. So, yeah, it's aggressive.
U.S. officials also sending a clear message to Americans in the region: leave now. Both Vice President Harris and Secretary of State Blinken will head to Europe for the Munich Security Conference. Among other things, they'll discuss ongoing efforts to de-escalate tensions between Russia and Ukraine. In Washington, I'm Bree Jackson for 17 News.
5:35 is our time now, and the race for Bakersfield's newly drawn 16th Senate District is becoming one of the most packed and competitive. We are learning 2 new candidates are joining the list to represent it. 17's Maddie Gannon has more this morning. Good morning, Maddie.
Alex, good morning. This new district you can see here behind me is most similar to Melissa Hurtado's current lines, but her decision to run for a Fresno Center district leaves no incumbent in this race. And we already have a slate of Democratic candidates who have jumped at the opening she left. And now there seems to be another Democrat throwing his hat in the ring. Current 26-year-old Delano Mayor Brian Osorio launched a website for a 16th Senate district run. He previously declared for the congressional race against David Valadao, and he may be the most progressive candidate on the ticket, supporting the Green New Deal and Medicare for all. Meanwhile, Republican David Shepard also announced a bid, making him the only GOP candidate in the race so far. Shepard is a farmer from Porterville who said he was tired of the state's policies on water, crime, and education. We will have an in-depth look at all the candidates individually in the coming weeks. In studio, Maddie Gannon, 17 News.
Thanks, Maddie. 5:36 now, education news. Among California's 58 counties, Kern takes one of the top spots for being least educated. According to data from the U.S. Census Bureau, just 16.4% of people ages 25 and up have a bachelor's degree or higher in Kern County. Lassen County is the least educated in California, followed by Merced, Glenn, and Tulare. Kern County ranks 13th. Here at home, the median earnings for those with a bachelor's degree is over $60,000. That gets cut in half with no college.
Bakersfield Congressman and House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, meantime, is applauding the recall of 3 members of the San Francisco School Board. Voters overwhelmingly approved the recall in a special election, ousting the board president, vice president, and commissioner. Parents voted to remove them for their handling of pandemic-era restrictions at schools and for the controversial decision to rename dozens of school sites due to perceived links to racism. On the list were schools named after Presidents Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, and Senator Dianne Feinstein. Kevin McCarthy issued a statement reading in part, "Parents are standing up to have their voices heard. Over the past 2 years, they have watched liberal school boards prioritize renaming schools over reopening classrooms."
A man arrested on human trafficking charges appeared in court yesterday. 25-year-old Kawan Richardson was arrested Monday. Officials say Richardson had multiple open charges at the time of his arrest, including pimping, pandering juvenile victims. He's now also facing charges of human trafficking of a minor and sexual intercourse with a minor. KCSO says 3 victims of human trafficking were identified during the investigation. Richardson pleaded not guilty to all charges. There is help available for victims of human trafficking. You can call the National Human Trafficking Hotline at 1-888-373-7888 or locally the Child Protective Services Hotline at 631-6011. You can also visit the Department of Human Services website, kcdhs.org.
Police have arrested the man accused of attacking and robbing a Fresno street vendor and his family on Valentine's Day, and the incident all caught on camera. Nathalie Vera reports.
This is the moment a street vendor family was attacked while selling Valentine's Day gifts on the corner of Tulare Avenue and 3rd Street.
When the vendors tried to intervene, he assaulted several of them. One of the victims was a 77-year-old father.
In the video, you can see as this man picks up 2 baskets and walks away without paying. Next, he violently pushes 2 vendors off and yells profanity at them. Police say the man in the video is 21-year-old Martin Chavez. He was arrested on Wednesday afternoon after trying to run away from officers on the 3300 block of East Nevada Avenue.
He has confessed to the crimes and is currently, as we speak, writing an apology letter to the victims that he assaulted.
Chavez is facing a felony charge for what's called a strong-armed attack. He was already on parole for assault with a deadly weapon.
It makes me upset, and we made a commitment. We made a commitment to protect our street vendors.
Chief Balderrama says social media played an important role in the arrest. Within 24 hours of posting this clip, Fresno PD got multiple tips.
The Instagram post got about 3,000 views. The Facebook post, 22,000 views.
Miguel Lopez is president of the Street Vendor Association. He says he's been robbed like this in the past and says this incident continues to make vendors feel unsafe. The association is still asking the city and police for resources, including more patrolling on days like Valentine's Day when more vendors are out selling. Chief Balderrama says it's hard to increase patrolling right now because they're short-staffed, but is asking vendors to report these crimes.
There's going to be some criminals that are going to focus on them because they're just going to assume that they're either not going to call the police, they're not going to get involved, they can't speak the language. We got to show these criminals that that's not the case.
That was Natalie Vera reporting. Back here at home, Tehachapi's police chief says he has decided to stay put just 2 months after announcing his retirement. Chief Kent Kroger has been at the helm of the department since 2014. In December, he announced plans to retire April 1st. However, Kroger now says after careful consideration and discussions with city leaders, community members, law enforcement leaders, and his family, he's decided to rescind his planned retirement.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.